Hi, guys.
Hello.
Happy Sunday. Hope everyone had a wonderful week. This is Scott, and this is Nancy. And as we always do every Sunday, we do these little relationship talks. Sometimes they're about relationships, sometimes they're just about the relationships of life. And we have a really, really important one to talk about tonight. Aharon, good to see you on here. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Heather. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Deb. Jessica, good to see you. Hi, Jennifer, Lisa, Devin. So we wanted to talk about something really important. And we just wrote down 5. But the importance of being a kid. And tonight may be a little bit more of an emotional live for the both of us, just because, there's just so many things going on in this world that we can choose to look into to make us feel a certain way, and there's obviously other things going on in this world that we can choose to see another way. And in all honesty, this live, so I just want to say hi to Dana, Trisha, Deb. Good to see you on here. Felissa. This live was actually inspired by the movie Christopher Robin. We took Taylor to go see it this weekend, and I was definitely in tears at different moments during the movie, and so was Nancy. And it's because these movies, they make you start thinking about life and what it's really all about. So, before we get into tonight's content, is there anything that you wanted to share before we get started?
No, I mean, this movie, so for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I don't cry normally. I mean, I just spent the last 15 minutes crying, but this movie had me in tears within the first 5 minutes. And it's just about a lot of good things. So if you haven't seen it, totally check it out. But just a reminder, we're all kids. And that's kind of why we themed tonight's, the importance of being a kid, because we're all just kids, and life kind of gets control of us, and things happen and things start to wear you down, and, life stresses happen. And it's so important to remember that we're all just big kids. And we all, have wants and needs and things that make us happy. And sometimes it's the simple things that make us happy. And there's so many themes throughout the movie, the Winnie the Pooh movie that it just really hit home for me. And it's just hit me at the core of everything that I stand for. And Scott and I were just talking in the car. We just had dinner, our normal Sunday dinner, and we're just talking about it. And I never cry. That's something about me. But I just broke down in tears, and I've been crying for the last 15 minutes about just, how hard life can be sometimes. And, we're all just trying to do the best that we can to get by. And we thought it would be no better of a topic to talk about tonight, just because it really hit us, in the feelers. So, yeah.
So, we're going to go back and forth with some things, and we wrote down at dinner 5 reasons why it's important to always remain a kid at heart. And again, this also today, Taylor had a birthday party, and they were at parkour, and I was just telling Nancy, seeing these 18, 19 kids just run around and swinging from things and jumping off of things. And, they had this one part where you climbed up this little tower, and you jumped into a foam pit, and there were 3 levels. And of course, my son goes to the highest level possible. He was the only one. He was literally the only kid that went to the very tippy top to jump into this foam pile. And that brings us to point number 1. As a kid, we have no fear, we have no limits, and everything in life becomes possible. And I just find as we get older, we just become more fearful of so many things, afraid of what other people might say, fear of failure, fear of taking risks, fear of challenging the status quo, fear of success, like fear of making more money, fear of having the best life possible. And what is all of that? As kids, we weren't afraid of anything. All we wanted to do was learn how to do more. How do I do this? Taylor's in kindergarten, and he's asking us nonstop, how do I spell this? How do you spell it? Did I spell this right? Like, all he wants to do is to learn and know more. And there are no limitations at all.
Weird.
Sorry, the door is like opening and shutting in the hallway. But like Scott saying, like, as a little kid, and there was a quote that was actually like, if you want to learn to live life again, ask a 3-year-old, what's important, or, try to see things from a 3-year-old's perspective, because, life is so interesting. And even if it's caterpillar on the ground, or even if it's a flower, like growing, like everything is so amazing. And there's so many simple things to appreciate and to love in life and to see. And it's just like, I keep going back to this movie, but like, it's just like we forget the little things in life that are so amazing and that we can be grateful for, whether it's a nature walk, whether it's, something so simple. I mean, God, they always say the best things in life are free. I mean, I truly believe that sometimes like we just need to slow down. And one of the quotes in the movie was, sometimes doing nothing is everything.
Sometimes nothing leads to the best of something.
Yeah, there you go. Translated by Nancy.
I mean, just think about
yeah.
it. It's true.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes honestly, like doing nothing or taking a break, whenever you have a busy life. And trust me, I've been in the corporate world and I've hit so many walls where it's like, I feel like I am exhausted and I'm burning the candle at both ends. And it just, once you get there and you're in that space, you got to take a breather and you got to look around. You got to really realize like what's important in your life. So that was such a big theme in the movie of, and again, I translated it as like, sometimes doing nothing is everything, because you can just kind of recalibrate and understand that the little things in life are so amazing and so important.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Pooh, his big message to Christopher Robin was that he looks forward sometimes to doing nothing, because that leads to the best something. Because sometimes when you're doing nothing, that's when your best ideas happen. That's when your aha moments happen. I was sharing with Nancy, there was a time in my life where I would wake up in the morning to my alarm clock, and the first words out of my mouth were "fuck," because I had to do it all over again. I had to start that 16-hour workday, exhausted and tired. And I started to shift my mindset, but I was realizing that I was throwing the towel in. I was succumbing to myself. I'm going to try, I'm not going to try. I'm going to get passionate during this live tonight. I know I am, because I'm just so sick and tired of realizing that we all succumb to our own stories. And that's all they are. And I think about the stories that we used to tell ourselves when we were kids. When someone would ask us, what do you want to be when we grow up? And you would think of my son said he wanted to be a demigod. He was really into Moana, and he wanted to be Maui. And I mean, the imagination and just that ability to envision yourself being a demigod, not having limits or fears, and everything is possible, that doesn't have to change now. If there's something that you want to be and something that you want to do in life, you can do it. The only person that ends up holding you back from anything in life is yourself. And it's the truth. People spend years at a job they fucking hate, and they're miserable. They hate their boss. They hate the people they work with, and they're just getting by. And that's the story they keep telling other people. Only a couple more years till retirement, and then that pension's gonna kick in, and then I can start living life. Fuck that. Like, it's the truth. Everyone needs to just wake up. Everyone wakes up at some point in their life, including me, playing small, playing it safe, playing at mediocrity. But as kids, we never played for mediocrity. My son knows 2 speeds, fast and faster. That's it. He wants to learn. He wants to understand. He wants to grow. He wants to challenge. He wants to figure things out. And does he get frustrated? Absolutely. But then he just picks it right back up. And as parents, what do? We encourage our children to learn more, to do more. And then as we get as adults, we push people down. No, you can't do that. No, that's not fair. That's not right. I don't agree with you. But we would never tell our kids, and this is something that Tony Robbins talks about. How many times, how many chances do you give your kids to learn to walk before you say, you know what? It's just not in the cards for you. You're not going to do it. Just give up. No. You keep working at them, and you keep teaching them, and you keep pushing them and encouraging them until they can walk. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything to add? Number 2. As kids, other than having toys being stolen, there's no drama. Like, no drama. Go.
There you go.
Why?
Go.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I just see as adults, this might be a short one. Just people talk too much shit. Plain and simple. If it's something my mom used to say, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I think too many people, the reason why they never get to where they want to be is instead of staying in their lane and working on their goal, not anyone else's, on their goal, they keep getting off the highway at exit after exit after exit. But if we just stayed away from the drama, which is as we get off at every exit, there's just drama waiting for us, and it's always going to tempt us. We all just have to stay in our lanes. When you can stay in your lane and you can focus on you and what you want to achieve for yourself, your family, and the people around you, success is the inevitable. Success never happens if you quit, if you stop. But I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter if you're crawling, walking, jogging, or running, as long as you're moving in that direction. Just like we were as kids. How did we start out? We rolled over for the first time. And then we, started crawling a little bit. And then we started to pull ourselves up. Then we took our first couple steps. Then we were off and running. And nothing could stop us. Until some other people got in our way, started making us feel bad about ourselves, started drama and picking on and do it. The best time, and I think in any kid's life, is between 1 and 5. It's still great now, but it's just this carefree, just world of exploration, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do all the talking. I don't.
Yeah. No, the whole drama thing is, and I've experienced it in my life, there gets to be a point where you get to be old enough. And I was thinking about this today. I'd love to write an article on, women up until their 30s. I feel like as soon as I hit my 30s, I had some kind of revelation where I'm like, oh my God, I don't need to be friends with people I don't want to be friends with. Or, oh my God, I don't have to deal with drama if I don't want to, you know? So there's something to be said. Scott says it all the time, stay in your lane. Like if you find something bothering you or agitating you, or there's a person talking trash on somebody, just stay in your lane. I mean, my thing that I've been living by is, be a kind person. When you speak kindly, right? Is it necessary? Is it truthful? And is it kind? That's the filters that I run through. And if someone's talking trash on someone else, if someone's judging someone else, I mean, again, like we all say stuff, right? Like I'm like, oh my God, look at that hair, like whatever, it happens. But like always try to run through the funnel, when you're feeling that way. Is it truthful? Is it kind? Is it necessary? And that's always what I found, like my foundation is on.
You said that to me the other day.
Yeah, I mean, it's me. Like that's how I run everything through. And it's taken me a long time to get to where I am. But one thing I realized, the older I get, I have no tolerance for drama. That's how I run my businesses. In fact, one of my businesses, the core role is, number one is be your own boss. And number two is absolutely no drama. If there's drama, there's a conversation or there's something that's going to stop, because that's just not accepted. It's not tolerated. So, live your life in a way, that you want to. And again, no drama, think about kids, no drama.
Yeah, I think for me, just to summarize this before we move on, I could care less. Unless you're trying to do something to personally hurt me or affect my life in a negative way, I could care less what you're doing. It's the truth. No one is waking up saying, I wonder what this person's going to be doing today. All of us are always concerned with ourselves first. We have to do the checks of our own systems before we do anything else. I'm at the place and space in my life where unless you're trying to purposely hurt me in any way, shape, or form, then you will get my attention. But I don't care what people do. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I don't care what people say about me anymore. People can talk all the shit they want on me and Nancy says to me all the time, what do you say? Is what you do, what's your thing? What are the three questions?
Oh, is it truthful?
Is what you're doing truthful? Yes.
Is it necessary to say?
Yes.
Is it kind?
Yes. So here's the thing, everyone focuses on what everyone else is doing. And people can say, and I energetically, I feel people all the time, there's negativity popping around everywhere. It doesn't affect me anymore because it doesn't affect my life if I allow it to. So let's stop talking shit on each other and start loving each other more. Let's stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and focus on ourselves. Let's stop worrying about this person or that person having some sort of agenda and focus on your life, your family, and what you're looking to achieve yourself. How much better of a world would we live? Why are you laughing?
I'm just because I'm thinking if everyone used the filter,
yeah,
is it truthful? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Would there really be drama?
Half the time we say shit to others, we don't have to say it. It doesn't make a difference. Really quickly, what all you guys need to understand, and you should share this with people that need to hear this stuff, none of it fucking matters. I'm sorry if I'm swearing tonight, but I'm just so fired up because I see it and I hear it every day because I'm in the throes of it. There are arrows being shot my direction and her direction every single day. And I am unpenetrable, right? Unpenetrable. I can't say it. You can't penetrate my armor, and you can't penetrate hers. The only way, is that a number 2 pencil? It is a number 2 pencil, yes. We're going to have pencil wars later. The fact of the matter is, the only time we can allow people to affect us is if we allow them to. But how much better of a world would we live in if none of us worried about what everyone else was doing? If we just let people do themselves, do whatever makes themselves happy. If someone doesn't want to live a certain way, that's on them.
Well, and I think there comes a point too. I mean, we all grew up differently. We all grew up in different family situations and everything. And if we think back to just being a kid and discovering and feeling things, right? You know, there were things in my childhood that on the outside might have looked like, oh my God, you know, like whatever. But I was the happiest I've ever been in my life, you know? So it's like, it all depends on how you're translating the situation, how you're feeling, how whatever, and how you let things affect you. You know, there will always be, and I tell Scott this all the time, no matter what business or thing that you do, there's always going to be one or two people who are trolls, you know, who are going to find fault in what you do or say their, you know, their feelings about you and start a, you know, a thing. It's always going to happen. So it's kind of like, do you kind of take the 100 over here that are just completely fine and that one off? Or do you really pay attention to that one person and you let that really, you know, judge how you feel? So again, going back to everything, guys, no drama.
No drama.
And how can you help support this? You know, so instead of adding to the drama, and again, so many people start drama just in small talk because they want to just connect with people. Connect on happiness, connect on something else. And whenever you're trying to funnel it, is it truthful? Is it necessary? And is it kind?
And one last thing, that most of the time when people say things to you about maybe something they're not happy with that you're doing or the way that you're living your life, it's that person might feel threatened, but again, they're just sharing their feelings about how it makes them feel. But it doesn't necessarily have to make you feel that same way. If you know in your heart that you're doing something of service or you're living a way that's fully intentional and genuine and authentic and loving and caring, and as Nancy always reminds me from The Science of Getting Rich, the value of the way that you provide a service or live your life is greater than what you actually provide. That product, that good or service far outweighs the value of what you're providing. You have nothing in life to worry about. What you're charging. Clara says, we can learn so much from a child. Thank you for the refocus tonight. I needed this. Love it, Nancy. Is it truthful? Is it necessary? Is it kind? That summarizes human relationships. No drama. Number 3, kids, we find the fun in everything. I mean, it's so true. Kids, they like Taylor, like I did a wall of Taylor. So these are all little pictures that he's been drawing. My camera's all weird. Oh, there we go. Anyway, you get the idea. So we went out, we got some picture frames, and we said, pick out some pictures that you love, and we hung them up. So he comes in here, and that entire wall is his. So he can draw pictures, he can color things in and whatever he wants framed. And he had, like, we were putting the sticky things on the back of it today, and he was having so much fun doing it. You know, he's making all these little books. They're just sticky notes, and he draws a picture on it, and he tells a story. And, you know, he was like going through, and there's nothing, it's just, he goes, this is happening here, this is happening here. Yeah, here's his one book. This is his book. And he was having so much fun telling us the story of this book. And Fabio says, people love to protect their feelings and project their feelings onto others. Absolutely, Fab. So, I mean, it's so true. Like, people just need to keep their stuff to themselves. If it doesn't feel good, just leave it alone. But, you know, kids really do find fun in everything. And I still get so excited every single day for our morning routine. I love getting our coffee in the morning. It's so much fun to go in there and talk to Hannah and Emily and you know, so I go in there. So my drink is this is really funny. So my drink, I get a quad shot almond milk latte with a little bit of honey seeped into the espresso. And so we kept going in there, and they're like, Scott, do you want your usual? And I said, yes. And they're like, do you want it iced or do you want it hot? And I would tell them how I wanted it. And they're like, listen, we're getting a board in here and we're naming your drink. It's called the
Quad
Quad
Shot.
Shot Scott. And we're going to have what it is so people can just order Quad Shot Scotts. And so I go in there now and I'm like, I'm going to take a Quad Shot Scott, iced or hot. And so Nancy went in there one day and she goes, I'll have his drink. I'm like, no. You have to say what you want.
I have to say it.
And she goes, fine, I want a Quad Shot Scott iced. But we are still kids. Like, I think what people get so caught up in life and the seriousness of it, and when you become a father or a mother, you lose yourself. The joy of a kid playing hide and go seek, or just a game, or just drawing and color. Like, he ended up wanting to draw a picture, and I drew this picture of this whole mountain range, and you actually got it. You're like, this is really good.
I was like, darn, Taylor.
And he goes, Daddy, he goes, I want you to frame your picture. He goes, it inspired me to draw another one, but yours is daytime, mine's nighttime. And life is just so fun if we just choose to see it that way. God.
Yeah.
So
I was telling Scott, during our little, because in the car, I was literally just bawling, letting it all out because, I was in college and, it's just, college is great. Of course, some of the best times of my life, but I had this one birthday that it was probably my junior year or something. And I came home for my birthday. It was Easter break or something. And I told my mom, she's like, what kind of birthday do you want to have? And I'm like, I want a Rice Krispie cake and I want to invite all my kid cousins, all of them over, and we'll do an Easter egg hunt or something. And she's like, you want a little kid birthday party? And I was like, yes. And it's just I love kids. They're so happy. And it's seeing kids run around and play tag and have fun and everything. And it's even in college at that point, I was just you know what? It's just such a good time when you can just relax and be yourself and have fun. Just let go and have fun. And the other thing I told Scott was last summer, I made it this rule, as I'm getting older, of course you get tired, easier and things just start to kind of wear on you. And I made a rule that anytime my niece or nephew asked me to play tag with them or asked me to run around with them, I had to do it. Hey, Aunt Nan, come jump on the trampoline with me. Okay. and I couldn't say no. That was the rule. And I probably lost 3 pounds because of it. But it was the rule. And can I tell you something? I mean, it honestly was so incredibly fun. And it's so incredibly fun. And I always play with them because it gives me a chance to kind of just let go and just play, right? Because life is about fun and games. What is life if we don't get to enjoy things and we don't get to laugh and we don't get to relax a little bit, And it's kids, the greatest thing on earth to them is playing with an adult. Think about when you were little and you asked, someone older, or your aunt or uncle, and you're like, please play with me, please play catch or please do something. And it's that's the greatest thing on earth to them. And it's let's stop for a second and think that maybe that could be the greatest thing again, and just having fun and relaxing and taking the boombox of life, off your shoulder for a second of all that noise and just slow down and let's enjoy the little things.
Yeah, and I'm just going to use my friend Deanna that just jumped on here. We were having a conversation tonight and she said something really, really impactful to me. And she goes, I have a great life. And she goes, I have a great life because I live it every single day. And that it hit me in the face. I had the chills when she said it because there are so many people that don't live for right now. They're not even focusing on today. They're thinking about everything that has to go on this week or already happened or tomorrow or next month. And they're missing the most valuable time that we have, which is right now, the present time. And imagine that for a second. Imagine if we all lived every day just living that day, taking it all in, finding the fun in something that happened that day, not having any drama, living without fear or not being afraid of taking on a challenge, how much more impactful and meaningful would your life be? How much more fulfilled would you feel at the end of every day? Because I'm going to say it again, way too many people walk around feeling immortal, like nothing is ever going to happen. I mean, my grandfather's an interesting story. We were celebrating my grandfather's 90th birthday earlier this year, and my father went to go pick him up, and he goes, Dad, is it crazy to think that you have a son that's 65? And he said, Howard, he goes, what's going to be crazier is when you're 100, I'm going to be 125. And my father said that he said it with such conviction, with no fear, with not even a question or a doubt. And that's not saying that he doesn't feel that he's immortal, but he's looking forward to life. He's taking it all in, but he knows there's more to live. If we all stopped for a second and enjoyed right now and really spent our time, oh God.
You get me like teary.
It just pains me because there's a lot of great people out there wasting every single day and not realizing how many beautiful things are around them. And they take their anger and their frustration out on so many others. And I can tell you that, Nancy says it to me all the time. She goes, the universe keeps smacking you in the face, keeps smacking you in the face. And she even said to me tonight, she goes, you got to just take your wings off, like put your wings on and fly. You're just, I sometimes get sucked back into some of my old ways, and I start playing small again. And I'm staying in my lane. And I said this to her, that we're getting on the bus and we're not stopping, and we will run over anything in our way. And I think when you have that mentality that nothing in life is going to stop you from living a beautiful life every single day, from living a fulfilled life every single day, from living a fruitful and just glorious and just empowered and inspiring life every single day, that's living.
Yeah. I mean, just, be a good person.
Yeah.
Be good to yourself.
No more
be good
dick
to
holes.
others. We're being a dick hole. And yeah, and the thing that I get so emotional about, and it's such a part of my journey, is, I quit my corporate job because I was losing my family. I was losing time, that I wanted to do the things that I really wanted to do. And I broke off and I started my journey in a different direction because I needed to have a job where I could have work-life balance and that I could have the freedom to do what I wanted. If I decide, in fact, last week this happened, Friday, I had a little bit of a mental wall and I'm like, I need a break. I need a break. And guess what? Who's the boss? I'm the boss. So I took a break. Do I work hard? Yes, I work hard every day. And I literally have a battery, that I was telling Scott, like, I need to protect my battery because, I let people take up time and I put my time and energy into helping other people. And literally at the end of the week, last Friday, I was spent. I couldn't do anything. But the thing is we get caught in this, like, and they call it the rat race, or whatever. And it takes something so horrible and so terrible to happen sometimes to make us realize, that life is not promised. Like every day is not promised. And it's like, life will knock you down. Shitty things will happen. People will do horrible things to you. You may have had an easy childhood. You may have had a really hard childhood. So it might have started then, right? You might have had a horrible older life. You could have lost a lot of people. The thing is you got to keep trucking on, and you got to remember, like life can get pretty crazy, but there's a lot of really wonderful things, and you got to stay focused and you got to keep going. The whole theme of this again is, we are all kids. We're just bigger kids. And like that movie, Christopher Robin, I mean, this is how much, again, I'm not a crier, but I've cried more in the last like 2 days since I've seen it, because it hits me in the feels, like it hits me right here. I mean, the first 5 minutes of that movie, it was Christopher Robin was at a table with Pooh and Piglet and Tigger and Eeyore and Roo and Kanga. And they were all saying goodbye to Christopher Robin because he was leaving for boarding school, and it was like goodbye forever. It's a farewell party, and it was like farewell to your childhood, and here's off, into whatever. And he's leaving behind Pooh, who finds happiness in everything, in balloons and honey and in just the general little day-to-day things. And there Christopher Robin's going off to fight in the war and to have a corporate job and to get caught up in life. And it hit me so hard. And I went in the bathroom. I told Scott, I was like, I cried for like 15 minutes in the bathroom. I just sobbed. And it's like, we're all just kids. And it's like, if anything gets me choked up and gets me worked up, it's that where and when do we lose ourselves, And again, I'm trying not to cry, but like, when does it happen? And it's so sad that it does happen. But let's get back to that, right? Let's get back to appreciating the little things. If you guys have kids, slow down, get off your phone for a second and look at your kid and pay attention. Like we talk about Taylor all the time, like, he gets so excited about the simple things, and we sit down there, and if you just like sit there and you pay attention to what he's saying and you listen to the things that he gets excited about and you just slow down for a second, it's like it can make you realize so much in your life that you forgot that is really cool. It's like bugs. Okay. Like, hey, look at this bug that's out in the hall. Slow down, take a look at this and check it out. And it's like, wow, okay. Like, again, I'm forgetting these little things in life. I'm seeing moss growing on walls again. I'm seeing bark on trees. I'm seeing clouds in the sky. Like, let's slow down for a second every once in a while and realize that, like, there's so much around us and it's free. It's not something expensive. It's not a Lamborghini. It's not something that we've got to achieve and we've got to work our asses off and forget what really makes us happy. There's so much around us.
Very well said. I mean, it's the truth. I think if we all just stopped focusing on everything else that's going on, not in our life, but what someone else is doing, we would really see all the joy and all the blessings that are right in front of us in our own life. Sometimes we take too much time and energy to focus on what all these other people are doing instead of focusing on the most important person in this entire equation, which is us. You take us out of it, there is no equation. It doesn't exist. We bring whatever we want to bring into our lives. And I don't think there's anyone on here right now that wants to spend every day worrying about everybody else, focusing on the drama of everyone else. So this person said this person said that, this person's doing this. We just need to really take care of ourselves, because taking care of you allows you to take care of everybody else. And Luna says being present before it's too late, as then we realized we zoom through life and miss those golden moments. And she's right. This brings us to our fourth point. Don't treat life too seriously. I mean, you hear it all the time. And there's so many people like, well, you should be serious sometimes. Well, again, when there is something that needs to be treated seriously, then you treat it that way. But life, we bring into our lives what we want to bring into it. I want a life of fun and adventure and exploration and mystery and just awesomeness. I don't want a life of mediocrity or Groundhog's Day, doing the same thing every day. Like,
It's a good movie.
it was a great movie, but I don't want that as my life. I don't want to, like, I don't want to be in a job that I hate. I don't want to be in a job or a business that is not paying me what I deserve. I don't want to be around people that I don't have to be around. I just want to have fun every single day and spend time with those that I want to spend time with, because life isn't so serious. Like, I used to get pissed off at the stupidest things. Like, I'll tell you one story. So, not this summer, but the summer before, my mom and her fiance rented a house down the shore. And Taylor and I went down for the weekend. And my mom, God bless her, she takes 6 hours to get ready for the beach. So, you know, I took Taylor to the beach by myself, and we were, you know, boogie boarding, and we were playing, and we were jumping around and doing everything in the waves. And about an hour and a half goes by, and no one, it's still just him and I, and this woman comes up to me. And and she's walking towards me. I think maybe I knew her from somewhere, or, you know, social media, or I don't know how I knew her. She goes, "Hey," she goes, "Come here for a second." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Hi." She goes, "Hey, my name's so and so." I'm like, "Hi, I'm Scott." She goes, "Listen, you split the entire back of your board shorts, and the entire beach can see your ass." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "The entire back of your bathing suit is like wide open." And I like went back there, and I'm like, "Oh my God." And like, I was wearing board shorts where like the whole thing had busted open. I'm like bending down in front of people. Like, I mean, it's a nice butt, but I'm sure they don't want to be looking at that in the morning. So I'm like, "Taylor, come on." Like, I had to put a towel around, you know, my mom had to send, you know, her fiance's son there, and I had to go change in a porta potty. And I remember I ended up doing a Facebook video on it, because the old me would have been so pissed off and like embarrassed. But I was like, fuck it, like, whatever. I split my bathing suit. Like, there's little kids that run around with their ding dongs, like, they don't care. They're taking their pants off, like so what? Like, I split my pants open. You know, the simple solution. You know, someone brought a new bathing suit. I went in the porta potty. I changed. I was good to go. So I don't treat life that serious. Like, again, people can say whatever they want about someone else. You allow things to affect you if you want it to. So don't treat life so seriously.
Makes me think of the SpongeBob episode.
What?
I ripped my pants.
And finally, number 5, and this is the my favorite. And as kids, we are always looking to grow, always. And you know, as an adult, up until about 5.5 years ago, I stopped growing. I stopped working on myself. I wasn't reading books. I wasn't investing in me. I wasn't trying to learn more and do new things. But I'm always looking to grow now. I don't care what the investment is, whether it's time or money, or both. I'm gonna make that investment to grow. Because again, it's not about anybody else. It's about me. If we all start to, people might hear that like, well, that sounds kind of selfish. No. There are so many people walking around on this earth plane. All they do is for everyone else, and they don't fill their cup. For you to fill other people's cups, you got to fill yours first, because you're going to die of dehydration. You have to hydrate yourself with love every single day. You got to love yourself like no one can love you. You know, obviously we love each other, but I know that it's more important for her to love herself more than I love her, because you have to be good with you, right?
Yeah.
Be good with you. Always look to grow.
Hand off. All right. So always look to grow. I mean, for this one, like in the last like few years, like I've had such a huge shift in my growth mindset. So once I stopped what I was doing, in my corporate job, and I kind of started on my own path, one thing that changed was I really started to pay attention to myself more, and I started to actually look at different things and like what I really truly wanted. And I learned that if I didn't know a lot about something, I could focus on it and I could learn more about it and I could grow. So for those of you out there who, might be stuck in the weeds, or who have a very narrow mindset and feel like, okay, this is my life and I can't get out of it, or I can't quit my job because I have this, or I can't do this because I have that, I challenge you to just slow down for a second. Take a day for yourself and really think about what truly makes you happy and what you like and what you're good at and what might bring you happiness. And it might be something that you can kind of switch your career or do something, but like, I challenge you to just slow down for a second. And are you living the life that you want to live? Do you want to be doing the same thing 5 years from now? If it is the same thing for 5 years, that's awesome. Is there anything that you can do maybe a little differently to make it even better? Because I'm such a huge advocate. Scott's a huge Gary Vee fan, and so am I. But Gary Vee talks a lot about like, oh, you don't like it, quit your job. You're not passionate, quit your job. That's not what I'm saying. Like, everybody doesn't need to like just quit their job. I'm challenging you to just make sure that you reevaluate. Are you in the right job? Are you in the right position? Are you happy? Is there something you can tweak? Or maybe it's just staying in your lane and not worrying about what, this person over there is doing or that person over there is doing. It's just, is there anything that could be a little bit better? But just take that time for you to focus on growing you, growing in your skills, growing in life, growing in general. Like, growth is so huge. And I will tell you, after 30, a lot of people go, oh, well, I should be, married with kids by a certain age, or I should do whatever. Like, I hit a point, as soon as I hit 30, something happened and I was no longer just walking. I literally skyrocketed. And I started sprinting. And since I was 30 and now I'm 33, I've been sprinting towards a newer, bigger, better version of myself. I'm kinder. I am nicer. I'm a better friend. I'm a better family member. I know I've improved on so many things and I only hope to get better. But the one thing that I'm really shooting for is personal happiness. And there have been so many quotes. And I think John Lennon said, everybody asks what you want to be when you grow up, but nobody asks, if you're happy. Or what is it? Like, no one asks. Do you remember that quote? He's looking it up. But it's one of those things where it's like, happiness is so incredibly important. It really is my journey, and it's been my journey for the last few years. We only have one life to live. Why spend it with someone you don't want to spend it with?
Is it the loved one?
No. Matters only that you love. No. It's everyone asks you something. But anyway, the whole moral of the story is trust me, like, I grinded for 10 years, and I know many people have done much more than that, but for 10 years, and I literally burnt myself out to a point where I just was not happy, and I quit everything when it made no sense. It's not like I had years of money stacked up or saved or anything. I quit and I started my own business, and I made it work because I had to make it work, and no one gave me anything. I had to start it from square one. So anyway, the whole point, I can't remember what I'm talking about, but the whole thing is everyone can do it. Take a breather, slow down, reevaluate where you're at, and, continue to grow.
When I was 5 years old, my mother always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up.
There you go.
I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them that they didn't understand life.
Oh, I love that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's one other quote that I want to share with you before we end tonight. It's actually a quote from Pele. It's actually one of my favorite quotes ever. And he writes, "Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love. It's the love of what you are doing." And I can affirm to you guys that, and if you guys can all affirm with me, and I know Nancy is too, that if you have a goal that you're looking to achieve, if you have a life that you're looking to live, no more will you allow people's words, actions, or anything that they say to you or others to stop you from going after what you want. Everyone deserves the best out of life, and it's out there for all of us. And again, is it truthful? Is it necessary? And is it kind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself those three questions when you're going on your journey. And if your answer is yes to all of them, like it is for ours, you found your path. And there will be challenges. There will be people pushing you, poking you, saying, what you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is not right. I have people challenging me all the time about what I do for a living. And that's fine with me, because it's my life. And I know that every day that we wake up, we live life with intention. We live life with gratitude. We live life with appreciation. And we live life with fulfilling our own dreams that also at the same time fulfill those around ours. So again, the 5 reasons why as adults we need to stop and we got to start being kids again. Number 1, no fear, no limits, everything is possible. Number 2, no more drama, except if someone steals your. Number 3, we find fun in everything as kids. Also, number 4, as kids, life too seriously. We don't. It's just a game. And I think, isn't that what Warren Buffett said? Warren Buffett said that, he treats. So he's playing life as a game and having fun doing it, trying to get as many points as possible. And I think he has the high score, ever. He is like the all-time high score. It's like hundreds of billions, trillions. And